Hello and welcome to BNC Sports. I'm James Hill. HBCU football, the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats win their first football game of the season. BCU 35, Alcorn State 31. Your final. BCU Wildcats head football coach Terry Sims joins us from Daytona Beach, Florida. Coach, first and foremost, I hope you and everybody in the Wildcats Nation are safe and sound. Coach, take us back to your football victory versus the Braves of Alcorn State University.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank all our fans for coming out and supporting us and continue to support these young men. Can't take anything away from Alcorn, Coach McNair and his staff. They had those guys prepared to play. We knew we would have a 60-minute football game, and that's exactly what it was. I think when you look at it, we had all three phases showed up and helped us win this football game on Saturday. We had plays being made all over the field. Guys were doing what they were coached to do, and things were bouncing our way a little bit. We went in down 17-7 at the half, but there was no quitting these young men. We made adjustments. We came back out, and we made plays. We made the plays we were supposed to make. I think we capitalized on some things that we felt like we should have, in weeks past, just things that we need to do ourselves, not really anything about any other, program or any other player, but just what the Wildcats needed to be doing. And we focused on those things yesterday, and it turned out to be in our favor.
Coach, when you look at your football program, you've had a lot of success, and you look at this particular season. In sports, it's always been said that it's a game of inches. Any bounce can go any way. There's rainstorms. There's different key moments during the season where a key call this way or that way or a flag or different things can shift momentum, and it's really a game of inches. Can you talk about being so close but yet so far and then cashing in, so to speak, versus Alcorn?
Well, yeah, we've had some games this, season where we felt like, nothing against any other program, but we dropped the games. We beat ourselves. We had, I know 3 games, really I can count 4, where 4 plays made the difference, whether it was a kickoff return for a touchdown, or we had a blown coverage for a touchdown, or it was a interception for a touchdown. So those are, big plays, and we had 4 of them in our last, 3 or 4 football games that we felt like if those things were controlled, that we would have an opportunity to win games. And I think we controlled those things yesterday, and we did a good job as a team, as a program, and that was definitely a program win. And I really think that anyone watching this game, they saw the finished product of Bethune-Cookman University Wildcat football team playing 60 minutes.
Coach, HBCU football, whether it's the MEAC or the Swac, FCS football is college football anywhere you play it. Can you talk about making the switch and going to another phenomenal league? And you've been a part of this league, but talk a little bit about being in the Swac and what you see so far.
Well, a lot of great football players, a lot of great football coaches. We had a lot of great players in the MEAC, a lot of great coaches. I don't think it's a whole lot different. We have, powerhouse teams in the Swac, and we had powerhouse teams in the MEAC. I look at the Swac, and there's a week in and week out battle. There are no days or no weekends where you can, think you'll have a stat game, as the kids used to call it back in the day, or, it's going to be an easy game. You have to strap up every Saturday when you step out on that field, because you're going to be playing a tough football team. And it doesn't matter where the team is from. It doesn't matter what their record is. It's a lot of good football in this league, and we're excited to be a part of it, and excited for the challenges that come, with this league.
Coach, when you get it done and you win against Alcorn, a proud program who has been to the Celebration Bowl several times recently, and you get that W on your schedule, How relieving is it? And talk about the sense of accomplishment and just the collective effort to get it done and to go out there on a Saturday and do what your team is supposed to do, and that's win a game.
It's great. I will say we just walked off the practice field a little while ago, and I told the guys they had to enjoy it yesterday. We made our corrections from that game, and we moved on to Grambling. But it was fun. It was fun watching the guys actually get a chance to celebrate, knowing how hard they work week in and week out. This team has not given up, not one day. We practice hard every day that we step on the field. They're still giving us everything that they have. So it was great to finally be on the other end of one of those games and actually have more than the opponent on the scoreboard when time ran out.
Next Saturday at Grambling State University, Bethune-Cookman. When you think about moving forward, what's the thought process going in? Again, it's HBCU Blue Bloods football in the SWAC.
Well, again, another great football program. Coach Fobbs and his staff, they do a great job. They had some struggles early on in the season, but when you watch these guys on film, they're salty. Their defense, they move around, they run around, they fly around to the football, and they have some playmakers on offense that can definitely get it done. And you look at a solid special teams unit. And anytime I look at a football program, when I watch film, that's the first thing I'm watching. I watch the special teams first, and then I'll get to offense and defense, because that's where games are won and lost on special teams. If you don't pay close enough attention to it, we pay a lot of attention to special teams because that's something that we have done around here for years, and it helped us out yesterday. We had a kickoff return for a touchdown, and then we had three other kickoff returns that set our offense up, in great field position. So excited again to go down and play these guys and have a chance to match wits with Coach Fobbs and his staff. It's exciting, and we're looking forward to it.
Coach, I've covered you and known you for years, and you've never been a man of excuses. When you look at the reality of bringing a football team and a program back from a layover where you did not compete, quote unquote, opting out due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and then you come back and you play after not having a full season, how challenging is that to get a football team back in the direction you want it to be after a journey like that?
It's very challenging, but I have a great staff, had some great people behind me, trying to make sure that we had some things that we needed to get started and get moving in the right direction. But it's hard. It's hard, just to get our guys here and get them lined up and get them going. Football is a physical sport, and not having a long time to work out and not having them here in summer school, all those things count. And after being out for so long, you're gonna have some lull or some lag in your play. But we're not using that as an excuse. We were in football games, and they're football games that we felt like we should have won. So my thing is, we just have to get it done. That's what we're here for, to graduate young men and win football games. And we're going to continue to do both of those.
Coach, you just alluded to it. When a young man walks across the stage, you shake his hand, and he's a winner, and he's victorious in education and in the game of life, and he becomes a model citizen and a gentleman who contributes to our society. Talk about building young men and what that can do for quality student athletes.
Well, I think when you look at something that we've talked about around here for years, building men, we're about making sure that these young men have the tools to be positive, productive citizens when they graduate. That's the main thing. They're student athletes. We want them to make sure that they're getting their degree. They're learning, but not just learning in the classroom. They're learning in life, and we take that very serious here. When you really look at the things that go on around here, We have a number of guys that have already graduated that are playing. I think it's all about the experience, your college experience, and we try and make sure that these young men have a great experience academically and athletically when they come to Bethune-Cookman University.
Coach, you look at classics, if you will, in HBCU football. The Florida Classic is a classic we look forward to covering, and you look forward to coaching it every year. Can you talk about what that means? It's a top 3 classic. When you look at several HBCU classics across the country, why is this game so important? Why is it so significant? We can close our eyes and think about it and see a sea of people in Orlando at Camping World Stadium, Bethune and FAM, and it's a beautiful thing. Can you talk about the Florida Classic and what it means to you personally, sir?
Well, I think first and foremost, these are 2 universities that have been close for years. Years, a lot of trash talking, a lot of back and forth. But, at the end of the day, this thing was started on 2 men's word to put these student athletes on a platform to showcase their skills. And that's exactly what we continue to do every year. The fans at Bethune-Cookman, the fans at Florida A&M, they show up to support these young men, to support both of these universities, and I think it's great. For me, again, it's all about the experience for the young men. It's all about making sure that they have an opportunity to create memories, and I think that's what college is about. It's about creating memories. It's about building lifelong friendships and having things to look forward to, but also having things to look back on in your future.
Coach, do you feel like some of the student athletes that currently play in the SWAC and in the MEAC, the SIAC and the CIAA, should get a good look and be a part of the NFL draft, and just talk about the talent on the HBCU football field these days?
There's a lot of talent on HBCU football fields, and a lot of these young men, they do deserve an opportunity. And I think, a lot of them are going to start getting more opportunities because the NFL is taking notice of a lot of these young men. They may come get 1 or 2 here, here and there every year, but I think now the more of these young men that get an opportunity to at least go to a camp and make a roster, these teams are taking note, and they're seeing what's going on with these HBCU programs, and they know that we have athletes here, and they're understanding now that these young men know football. They understand the game of football, and I think that's what's important.
There you have it from Coach Terry Sims. Terry Sims and the BCU Wildcats play on the road at Grambling State University Saturday, November 13th, kickoff at noon Eastern. I'm James Hill. You're watching BNC Sports. We will be right back after this.